Thank you all for being here. I'd love to just open it, if it's all right with you, let's just open it up to questions from the audience. Anyone have any questions? Right here.
Yeah, you said in the intro that it was somewhat autobiographical. I was wondering like what character you saw yourself in.
Well, I was mostly Hoople.
Oh, the question was, which character do you most see yourself as?
I mean, to be honest, the biographies at the end were composites of people that we all knew. The writing of the script was quite therapeutic for the writer, myself, and John, the producer. So some of the lines in the script are verbatim, like the lines when the teacher goes, you, for example, are working class, I'm middle class. That was from the producer's sociology lesson. So the script was part film script, part therapy, to be honest.
Yes, right here.
Minnie, I was wondering for you, what did you use for inspiration, and maybe what music, what movies, what clips did you watch for your character to kind of inspire your character?
I went to a very progressive school, and I had a lot of teachers who were just like Viv, male and female. So I didn't really have to look very far. It was really just remembering what it was like to have an inspiring, unconventional teacher who swore at you a lot.
Yes, right at the back there. Yeah, you. Yep, sorry. Yeah, you, that's right.
Okay, first of all, I loved the movie. I loved it so much. And I wanted you to talk about The Tempest a little bit. I have a daughter who's 13, and she is so into Shakespeare for the last 2 years, and each play speaks so much to her, and so I wanted to ask you what The Tempest meant to you. It must be, since you chose it as a vehicle in this movie. So if you would talk about that a little bit.
Well, we looked around for some Shakespeare because it seemed to be, like Minnie was saying, with the teachers in that time, it was all about bringing Shakespeare to the kids, and it was just trying to meet, high art meeting the council estate kind of thing. And you look for the plays, and the first play that Laurence looked at was obviously Romeo and Juliet, and you go, okay, well, yeah, but maybe there's something a little less to do with love, and to do with the central love story. The thing about The Tempest was that when we picked it because it kind of is, historically the inspiration for Forbidden Planet, and it feels a bit otherworldly, and a lot of Bowie's music is otherworldly, and Mars could be the island, and it kind of fitted that way. And then you think about Ariel, you think about Caliban, you think about all those characters. But the thing that really struck us when we started looking at the play was it was the play in which Shakespeare more or less invents the notion of nature and nurture. It's a speech that Bob Pugh, the headmaster, gets to do about this monster, this Caliban. And nature and nurture seem to be part of the central argument of amongst the teachers, really. I mean, it maybe is a little, I don't know, on the nose, but it seems to me there was always a Viv and there was always a Miss Valentine at my school. Probably at most schools. It was kind of, and that argument still goes on about how you teach kids. And The Tempest gave us all that, I think, Minnie's character at the front says about David Bowie and Shakespeare. There's also a meeting of minds there a little bit. I'm sure David Bowie wouldn't mind me saying this, but it's almost like David Bowie created songs in which there was a space for teenagers to imagine. It wasn't always a story. There were gaps in the story, so you might not be extraterrestrial, but you kind of feel extraterrestrial when you're a teenager. And it seems to me that The Tempest is a play in which those gaps exist too, and it seemed like the perfect thing to play with. My favourite bit, which is one of Minnie's lines, because it was a script, there's a script direction at the beginning when she tells the small kids at the back that they're Ariel's, Ariel's Martian?
Ariel's choir of Martian spirits.
Yeah. Elephants, not spirits, not elephants. So it seemed to me there was lots of things there that kicked off, that came out of the rehearsals. I have to say, sparing Minnie's blushes, but in those scenes when it's a hall full of kids and there's a teacher, then acting becomes something beyond acting, because actually it's not like about a single and a close-up and two people looking at each other and the camera turning around. It's about somebody standing in a room surrounded by 50 to 100 kids. And that was Minnie. So I think that was the core of the film for me, was the idea of watching the rehearsals more than the show, because that's where stuff happens and that's where improvisation happens. And I think the film was sort of based around those moments, really.